First Things First is sponsored by Gillette, the best a man can get.
Can't do that.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to First Things First. I'm Jenna Wolf. That is the Hall of Famer Chris Carter. That is Nick Wright. We are in full-fledged cold season. So everyone, pick a number, take your chance.
You know how on construction sites or where, heavy work sites, they've got a board, days without a work injury. We've got to reset our boards, Chris. Days without Jenna Wolf having a cold.
I showed up.
We were at a career high 31.
I showed up.
It's now back down to a big 0.
Okay, but we're starting fresh because that's how we like to do things around here. Lots to get to today. 2 of the GOATs square off in Foxborough this weekend. Blake Griffin is going to sit right over there. We got a lot of questions to ask him live in studio, but we are going to start with LeBron and the Lakers in need of a win, facing Luka Doncic and the Mavericks. Pick this up under 5 minutes to go. LeBron, watch him, spins, finishes in transition, 2 of his 29. Lakers up 14. It's a pretty commanding lead, but back come the Mavs. Doncic hits the 3 over LeBron. Mavs within 8. Under 30 seconds to go. Mavs down 4. Doncic finds Harrison Barnes in the corner for 3. Then under 10, Doncic drives, ties up the game at 113. He had 9 of his 14 in the final quarter. After being fouled, LeBron misses the first free throw. Come on, LeBron. Collects himself at the line. There it is, the focus. And this time, he makes it. Lakers win 114-113. Lakers found a way to win at the end, something they haven't been able to do. Here is LeBron James on the Lakers learning how to finally close out games.
I'm extremely happy we're going through it. You can talk about it, you can preach about it, you can watch film about it, but the best teacher in life is experience. And it's great that these young guys are getting this experience of playing these tight, close games, and then tonight we was on the other side of it. We lost a couple when we were, same one was the same situation against San Antonio, we lost. Same situation happened tonight, we won. So it's great to learn from it.
I love what LeBron said. The best way to learn it is to do it. And that's what they're doing a lot of these close games, and they're trying to figure out how to win at the end. CeCe, are you worried about the Lakers, though, after almost blowing a lead, a commanding lead that they had with 5 minutes left in this game?
No, Jenna, I'm not worried. I thought they would struggle. LeBron, in 2 previous changes, we talk about all the time, his first time leaving Cleveland, going to Miami. We know there was a struggle there, and he had other great players, established himself. Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, they struggled. Their first 20 games, they struggled there. When he came back with Kyrie, Kevin Love, both of these guys, all-stars, they struggled there. So, no, I don't expect them to just breeze through this first 15 games. No, that is part of putting a basketball team together. The part I'm a little surprised that it was going to take this long for LeBron to start to take over in the 4th quarter. Because you can talk about what you want about LeBron. He's one of the best finishers that we have. Now, LeBron has kind of deferred to the rest of his teammates in the 4th quarter.
And he did again last night.
And it almost came back to bite him. He took over. He started dominating in the 3rd and the 4th. But he gave them opportunities in the 4th to allow Dallas to get back into the game. So I'm not as worried because I knew LeBron would be able to turn it on to be able to finish out these games. But I mean, the struggle is real. When you put a great player together with a bunch of talented young players, you're going to have some struggles. I did think they were far more engaged defensively when they came onto the court. They had a real game plan. I think closing out games, it will be LeBron James dominating on the ball, trying to get guys good shots.
And that's what has not happened yet this year. Listen, LeBron can say all he wants that experience is the best teacher, and I get that. This should not have been a game they got the experience of being a close game. You know how many times the Lakers trailed in this game? 0. You know how many times after 0-0 it was tied? Once. 113 with 7 seconds left. The Lakers jumped out early. They were up 13 points with 3.5 minutes left. And then their transition defense, most notably JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee had about a 4-possession sequence on the offensive and defensive end that were just abysmal, that let the Lakers get back into it. And LeBron did not do what he did all of last year for Cleveland, because last year's Cleveland team is the closest proxy to this year's Lakers team that we have for LeBron in the last decade because there's not another superstar on it. In Cleveland, I mean, because Kevin Love was there, but he was in and out of the lineup, wasn't playing at a superstar level. Obviously, Kyrie was gone. And what was LeBron last year in the fourth quarter? The league's leading scorer. What was LeBron last year in close games in the final 5 minutes? The leading scorer, best field goal percentage, best PER. The offensive game plan last year for the Cavs was, if it's close late, LeBron's going to orchestrate everything. He's either going to get to the bucket, get himself a jump shot, or generate an open three for other guys. He's not doing that right now for the Lakers. I do not think, I know some people say he's scared. I think he's trying to let the players learn the experience on their own, but it can get late early out west. And if they would have lost this game, it would have been disastrous. It would have been giving a game away. So listen, credit to LeBron, I suppose, for making that free throw at the end. They shouldn't have been in that position. But I want to see how much longer he's going to let potential games get away by not doing what he knows is best for the right now. He clearly thinks this is what's best for the long term, but that's only on one side of the ball. See, on the other side of the ball, even as bad as their offense was the final 4 minutes, they got to care about defense to close out these games. They can't just give up transition layups and open threes to close out these basketball games.
Can't this team find a way to make it work both ways, where LeBron does take over in the fourth quarter, but yet the way he's always been, but yet also get the other guys involved somehow? Does it have to be one or the other?
Well, I think that for young players, and especially when you're talking about people like Lonzo Ball, it's important that they know how to assume their role. They can't just put everything on LeBron. And LeBron's doing the right thing because they won't learn if he just tries to take over and everything. LeBron tried to allow them to be involved in closing out Dallas, but they couldn't do it. He was very, very aggressive in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, they had a commanding lead, but they couldn't make shots, and their defense was they didn't have the same intensity as earlier in the game. It's harder for younger players to take the importance of defensive basketball. Even Kevin Durant, when he came over to Golden State, this is the best defense he's ever played his career. Harden, we talked about how his defense has changed in the last couple of years, and these guys are superstars, so we could still expect young players to struggle on the defensive end.
And listen, you are seeing, if you haven't watched JaVale McGee throughout his career, you're seeing why. If you watch the NBA Finals, you're like, man, JaVale starts off every NBA Finals game, it seems like, with an alley-oop, a block shot, another big play, and then he's nowhere to be seen. You saw in the fourth quarter why teams have struggled to play JaVale McGee late. It's odd because off the court, he's such a smart, learned guy. On the court, he plays such an airhead brand of basketball at the most critical times. There was a sequence where he did a running hook shot while they were trying to close out the Mavs. He then does not get back in defense and allows a dunk. And the next defensive possession just doesn't even attempt to challenge a three-point shooter, which was his man. I mean, that's a potential 7-point swing that was part of the comeback. So there are a lot of small things right now the Lakers need to button up. Most notably to me is the defense, because worst case scenario on offense, LeBron's going to say, you know what, I wanted Ingram and Lonzo to be able to learn how to do this. What they're going to have to learn how to do is stand in the corner and hit open threes, because that's what the Cavs learned how to do last year. Their job late in games, hit open jump shots, all take care of the rest. He's trying to see if those guys can take on a bigger role. Thus far, they haven't been able to. And when LeBron only makes one shot in the fourth quarter, deferring, that's going, what we saw last night's going to happen. And last night, again, was almost a disaster. It was almost the biggest story in sports today was the Lakers blowing a 13-point lead to Dallas with 3.5 minutes.
They dominated for 3.5 quarters. The game shouldn't have been close at the end, and you could tell in the end LeBron still was trying to. But initially, you can tell Luke Walton, the game plan was to come out with more energy. They did that.
Yes.
I like the starting lineup that they did have. Attention to detail as far as at the end, that's just younger players that I believe. I believe they need a backup center behind JaVale McGee, because you cannot have him as your primary big man for a full 82 games.
100% correct. That right now is the biggest position in need. And I want to, on a positive note, Lonzo was coming off his worst game of the season. Yesterday, Lonzo was quite good. Lonzo did his role and did it well.
All right, we got to take a break there. We'll talk more about this coming up. On the other side, though, talk some football. Who's better, Tom Brady